Soul Simmers, my name is Darth Jeswick and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be attempting Lilsimsie's Llama Shell Challenge. She posted this like last week, I think, so we're just going to get right into it. You can see now I'm just trying to get all the roof pieces on. This was not very easy to roof just because of all the little bump outs, so it kind of looks a little weird in the back, but everything came together in the end and I think it looks pretty good. I'm trying to stick with the style of houses that are in this neighborhood, so we have a roof type from Jungle Adventures. I really like the colors on it. It's kind of like a purpley red tile. And then I'm going to add a light brown trim for the roof as well. For the wallpaper on the outside, I'm using a stone from Jungle Adventure in like a rusty orange color. I'm using these windows from the My Wedding Stories pack. I love these windows. I think they're so gorgeous, like with the shutters and everything. I used these recently in my Crystal Creations Let's Play, and I am just obsessed with them. The floor plan was a little bit tricky. I ended up with 4 bedrooms total in this house, and I forgot about the basement. So I had to do some adjusting off camera in order to get our basement in. I even commented on her original upload of the shell saying like, guys, don't forget the basement, and then I forgot the basement. I was literally 2 hours into recording and I was like, oh my god, there's a basement, because I accidentally clicked too many times and went down a level, and I was like, oh my god, not the basement. Nearly made me want to bulldoze the entire build and just start over. Thankfully, it all worked out in the end, but right now we are just working on the living room. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to use a base game couch in here or this Courtyard Oasis one, because I was thinking about just having this whole build be like one pack, and I ended up just needing the Courtyard Oasis stuff because it is so gorgeous, and I don't really ever get to use that pack because it's not in my typical style of builds, so it was really fun to branch out and use this stuff. For the kitchen, I was thinking about using these blue and white cabinets that also came with Jungle Adventure. We also have the stove and fridge from Jungle Adventure, but I was thinking maybe change them to the brown to bring in some of the more warmer wood tones from the living room. I think that worked out a little bit better just because we can really focus our pops of color on the tile and maybe some plants and things here and there. I went with a round table from My Wedding Stories as well as the matching chairs from that pack. I really like the pack because it does come with some good furniture options, even though the gameplay is kind of glitchy. I also really wanted to use this pergola somewhere in the yard. We have a huge lot. This is a 40 by 30 lot, so we have plenty of space to create a nice outdoor area. So this coin in the living room will end up disappearing because I have to put the stairs there. It's the only place I could have room to fit it in. If I had remembered it when I was doing the floor plan, it probably would have fit somewhere even better, but I had to stick it right there. I'm actually pretty thankful for the basement. Not thankful that I forgot about it, but thankful that we do have it because I was able to get another bedroom and another small living space. But in this corner of the living room, I'm just going to add a little chair, a side table, and then a few plants with a couple of lanterns. I really love the lanterns from the Courtyard Oasis kit. They're so pretty. There's also a few of them that come from the My Wedding Stories pack that are really nice too. So because this is a llama shell challenge, llamas are kind of a huge thing in The Sims 4. You can actually adopt llamas from the cottage living pack, but I wasn't doing that kind of build. I wanted to use as much llama items as I could find. We actually have a few things from the base game and then a few other objects from the Jungle Adventure pack and the My Wedding Stories pack that have a few llamas on them. And the color scheme fits in perfectly with what we're going for in this build, and I just love that. I gave the kid a art crafting table so they can make art and hang it up in their room. I also gave them a violin. When you have kids that play violin, it's very loud and annoying, so everybody in the house gets a 10 smooth lit, so I figure it's always best to just keep it in the kids' room. I gave the kid a backpack, and they have a matching lunchbox in the kitchen, so that'll be on the counter. I also gave them curtains, and I added another window to the side of the house. It was just looking very empty on the wall outside, so I wanted to add another window on the side of the house. I also gave them a matching lamp from the Jungle Adventure pack. I think it's a really cool lamp. It's got a nice detailing on the shade. I also gave them a toy box from the base game so they could put all their toys in there. There is a llama toy that they can actually pick up and play with, so I put a couple of those just laying around everywhere. In the toddler's room, I'm using a Jungle Adventure rug that has a few llamas on it, and then I'm matching a bookcase and the bed to that tone. It's kind of yellow and blue. We have the blue and yellow accents in the kitchen, so I thought it would be nice to bring it into this room as well, since it's right next to the kitchen. I'm also adding a little bookcase. We've got a little blarfy. We've also got a little chair to sit in. And then when I had everything like in the spot that I wanted it, I added a couple of llamas in here. We just got the one from the base game and then the one from Jungle Adventure again, only in a different color. Did have to size them down though because this room is a little bit smaller and there's a little bit more furniture in it. But we're gonna move on to the bathroom now. This is probably one of the most gorgeous bathrooms that I think I've ever built in my life. It just seems very relaxing in here. We've got like a nice cozy area. I'm gonna put like some lanterns down. We've got like a little stool that'll have some towels on it. This big mirror from Jungle Adventure. I don't know if this is bad or not, but having two mirrors facing each other in the game can be a little weird, but they're not directly across from each other, so I hope it doesn't affect any gameplay issues. The smaller mirror above the sink I had to raise up a couple of times just because it was like interfering with the plumbing, and then I took a rug from Jungle Adventure and sized it down a little bit so that I could use it as a bath mat. I'm also using this stool from Jungle Adventure. It is a functional stool, but I'm going to put some stuff on it so it might not be functional. I really like using this stool as like a table, so I'm going to add like our little towels on top of it and kind of like raise them up using the 9 key. I'm also going to add a little robe and a lantern that has some vases with flowers next to it. I think it really completes the look for this bathroom. We're kind of backtracking and going back to the kitchen to add a few more details in here, but I wanted to add like the spice rack, the challah bread, and then like a little milk carrier carton. If there was space for a lantern on the floor, I put one there, so there's just tons of lanterns everywhere in this build. But we're going to jump into the master bedroom right now. I'm just using a Jungle Adventure bed that's pretty similar to the one that we're using in the child's room, but its duvet cover is a little bit different. Pretty much everything in the bedroom is from Jungle Adventure, except for like the shelves that I'm going to put above the dresser to create like a fake closet using some of the base game items. I wanted to kind of switch it up a little bit and use a different side table than I did in the child's room, so I'm using this other side table that came with Jungle Adventures. It came with like 2 or 3 side tables. It's kind of odd, but I think it's pretty nice. I'm also using just a base game painting, and for some decorations on the dresser, I'm just adding some men and women's cologne, a little stack of shirts, and some nail polish. I'm also using the Jungle Adventure like multiple times in here, but it has a ton of different swatches, so I think it's really versatile. I also gave them a matching chair from Jungle Adventures and then another one of those little lanterns from My Wedding Stories. I'm adding a ton of plants in here, so I'm not sure if everything will work, but I hope everything does. Just with how routing works sometimes in The Sims, sometimes it might not work. Your Sims might not be able to sit in this chair. I really didn't know what to put over here in this corner, so I'm just going to use like a little plant and a side table, and then if you have collectibles in the game, you could just use the side table to put those things on. The main bathroom is a lot nicer than the master bathroom, but we essentially have all the same plumbing in here from the main bathroom, but it is a lot smaller, so I just kind of didn't go as hard on the decorations. But I am going to move on to the outdoor patio here. We've got like a nice fireplace from Jungle Adventure, the little pergola from My Wedding Stories, and also a table from My Wedding Stories. I do think I am going to make a smaller porch here just because I don't really want a huge porch. Because we're using a lot of like outdoorsy packs, I wanted to make a bigger outdoor space and not just like have a porch in the backyard and then nothing else. I ended up using 2 types of fences for the backyard. One is from My Wedding Stories and the other one is from the Courtyard Oasis kit. I wanted to have the pool somewhat fenced in, so like it doesn't really matter, your Sims can't fall in the pool, but you know, it's like always safer to have your pool fenced in. I'm going to switch it up a little bit though because I wanted some lounge chairs by the pool. But right now I'm just working on the barbecue area. We've got like this nice long table from My Wedding Stories and a barbecue from the base game. I also managed to fit a bar from the My Wedding Stories pack back here. We had a lot of space to work with, so I'm trying to get as much use out of it as I can. I don't like how the fence is like lining up with the end of the house and not the like bump out on the bathroom, so I will end up changing that because that'll also give us just a tiny bit more room in the barbecue area. But your Sims should have a pretty easy time trying to find somewhere to sit here. There's tons of outdoor seating. I'm also going to add like a little seating area by the fireplace so that your Sims can like gather around the fire at night when it's cold. Fireplace was looking a little odd, but I found these tables from the Jungle Adventure pack and just kind of slotted it right next to it. And I did have to kind of adjust the foundation a little bit, but that's okay. And for our little seating area, I just got a couple of Jungle Adventure outdoor benches and then a table from the base game as well as a coffee table from the Jungle Adventure pack. And to decorate, I'm just adding tons of lanterns. We needed a lot of light out here. They're not very bright lanterns, but they look very nice, so I wanted to use them. I'm also adding this candle centerpiece to the outdoor table, just so that there's a little bit of light under the canopy. I also gave them an archaeology table. I don't really use that skill that often, but it is fun to go and play through the Jungle Adventure pack. It's like probably one of the most replayable packs besides like some of the like most recent ones. You can collect fossils and then use the archaeology table with them. It's really cool. It's been such a long time since I've played that pack that I've been thinking about actually playing through it again, and that's kind of what made me inspired to do this build because I really love the Jungle Adventure pack. It is a beautiful pack. And coupled with the Courtyard Oasis kit, it's just so pretty. For the front yard, I'm just adding these potted plants from Jungle Adventure. I'm also adding them like kind of like around in the backyard too. Fence and the tile in the front yard are the same as the ones in the backyard, and the gate from My Wedding Stories makes me so mad. Like, gates in general just upset me because you can't slot them on a half tile, and I really wish we could because that would make everything so much better on this build, but that's the only complaint that I have about this. For the courtyard, I added a few benches and the fountain from the My Wedding Stories pack. I also have a telescope in here and then a few gardening pots as well. And for decorations, I'm just going to add these clay pots kind of everywhere. They come in tons of different swatches and colors, so I'm just kind of mixing and matching them. I also put our trash can in here just because sometimes Sims will like get angry and knock it over, and it's best to have it just behind the fence. Specifically in this neighborhood, Nina Caliente will always come over and knock over your trash can if you live in this neighborhood, or Oasis Springs in general. And then the last thing I did was add a science table for the child. Moving down into the basement though, I wanted to have a small little living area down here so they could watch movies, and then the longer bedroom on the right is for the teen. I was going to have this whole area just be like activities for all the Sims that live here, but I didn't want the toddler coming down here because they technically can't, so I ended up turning it into a bedroom and then an area to watch your TV. But there's still plenty of space for some skills down here if you really wanted to. You could probably very easily fit a computer down here, but I just didn't think about it when I was doing it because we have so much other stuff going on. We do have a computer, it's just in the teen's room, so you'll have to like ask the teen if they can use it, or just set it for the teen only. I wish I had a cat cam because my cat is sitting next to me on the bed right now while I'm recording. She was trying to get on my keyboard, so I grabbed a old tablet that I had that has a keyboard with it, so I set that up for her and just put on like a squirrel video, so she's just like obsessed with that and like staring at it. She's being very adorable right now, but she was being a little menace. This is kind of when I realized that there was a lot more space than I expected to be down here. It looks small, but it actually is like a lot of room for your Sims. Like this room has like the computer, a bookshelf. It also has like an easel in it so your Sims can paint in here. I added a lantern on the side table, a pride flag above the bed, and then the little corkboard that you can put postcards on from the base game. We have this little weird 2x1 bump out in the corner, so I made it into a closet and put her llama from her childhood in there, as well as the elemental table. If you've never used the elemental table before, you can basically just collect crystals and metals and then send it off to the Geo Council, and then they'll send you back a little square that has a piece of the element in it, and then you can collect them all. If you've ever played the Not So Berry Challenge, the Mint generation who plays a scientist has to complete the elemental table, and it's super easy to do because you're always like collecting crystals at work because they're a scientist. But that is all for today's speed build. We should be getting to the tour in just a few moments, but if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button because it really helps out. I upload a couple times a week, so subscribe and hit the bell button to get a notification every time I post a new video. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Dag dag!